What's up guys, today we're going to be going over Fireline in Destiny 2. There's a rumor on the streets that it is bugged and not doing the damage it should be. So we'll first be testing that out with all the different Fireline weapons in the game. I even have ones that are sunset. So we'll be going over a bunch of different numbers and seeing what is going on with this perk. Then we'll be breaking down the two new snipers this season with Fireline on them to see how good they are, breaking down their DPS numbers and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and begin looking at Fireline. As I mentioned, I have multiple Fireline weapons. So I have a 72, a 90, and a 140 RPM sniper. Then I also have the Sol LMG with Fireline, then also the linear fusion with Fireline. So all kinds of weapons to see what is going on. And what this perk says it does is this weapon deals increased precision damage when 2 or more allies are near. So what I'm going to do is shoot all these different weapons on Carl, first in the body, then the head, then also with Fireline. And I'm going to just let these clips play out. You can write down the numbers for yourselves and double check the math. But if you don't care to watch, skip to roughly 2.5 minutes into the video where I'll start breaking down a few of these different numbers. So if we just start off looking at the Shepherd's Watch numbers, usually to calculate a damage increase, you just take the perk damage and divide it by the base damage. So in the case of Fireline, that would be 13.2% increase to the total damage of the weapon. And that would work perfectly fine for pretty much every single damage perk in the game. But Fireline is a precision crit modifier, and it always has been. So what you have to do is factor in the body shot damage. And what you have to do to figure out what the Fireline damage is, you take the headshot damage minus the body damage to get the total precision damage the weapon's doing. So in the case of Shepherd's Watch, 13,766 is the amount of precision damage this weapon is doing. So you then take that number times 20%, which is what they said Fireline is, and that results in 2,753 extra damage from Fireline. So now all we have to do is add that damage that we're getting from Fireline into the headshot damage, and it equals 23,575, which is the exact number this weapon is doing with Fireline on it. So Fireline is not a 20% increase to the damage like other perks, it's a 20% increase to the precision damage, and that is two very different things. And if we just do that again with another weapon, for example the Sol LMG, because it is the most different out of the pack, once again if we look at the body shot damage, the headshot damage, and the Fireline damage, they're all on screen right now, and doing the same process, first figuring out how much precision damage the weapon is doing, then timesing that by 20% to get the increased damage of Fireline. The total will be 3,528 now. And once again, that is exactly what is happening in the game. So Fireline is not bugged. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's increasing the precision damage of weapons by 20%. But yes, it is completely terrible and pretty much worthless. With perks like Vorpal being in the game on almost every single type of weapon, being a 15% increase with no setup at all, perks like Fireline or even Explosive Light on the new rockets, they just simply have to be above 15%. Why would I ever use Fireline when I need allies nearby to get a lower damage increase than Vorpal, which has no setup? And Vorpal is on body shots and headshots, not just headshots like Fireline. So yeah, this perk definitely needs buffed, and it makes no sense why it's doing so little damage. So now moving on to the two Fireline snipers. Looking at the perks on the Shepherd's Watch, on the left there is pretty much nothing really too good. There's no triple tap, anything like that, so I would just use Lead from Gold. Then on the right we have Fireline and Frenzy as our two damage perks. And as we went over, Fireline was only a 13% increase, so you should use Frenzy, which is going to be a 15% increase. And you could use backup mag on this weapon to get up to a 7 mag, but I think just running boss spec will be better because there's no perks in left taking advantage of your mag size. So we look at the 1 mag and 2 mag DPS of this weapon at the same time, then with 1 reload for the 2 mags, it's going to take 7.1 seconds, so the DPS of 1 mag is 48,000, which isn't too bad for a special. Then it drops off all the way to 36,000 for 2 mags, so reloading once definitely hurts this weapon quite a bit. And that was with Frenzy, which means you have to be in combat for 12 seconds. This weapon also only holds 16 ammo, which is not that much, which means a total damage output of 412,000, which definitely isn't that high at all. Then we move on to the long walk from the Prophecy Dungeon. In left slot, we actually have some good perks. First, Clown Cartridge, then also Overflow. Then the right, we have Fireline, Frenzy, then also Adrenaline Junkie. And once again, Fireline is going to be under 15%, so Frenzy would be better overall, as long as you're in a situation where you can proc it, and that'll hit for almost 28,000 on Carl. But then with the right build, you can take advantage of Adrenaline Junkie, which will last for 10 seconds with ×3, and that will be the highest damage buff at 33%. And if we look at the 2 left perks, Clown Cartridge will guarantee a 6 in the mag, then it will go all the way up to 8, which is pretty cool. But I think the better perk overall will be Overflow, because you won't have to shoot off a shot to start reloading in the first place. All you have to do is pick up Special or Heavy, and it'll go up to 10 with a 5 mag, which means you pretty much can shoot 2 mags without reloading. So if we look at the rate of fire of that with Overflow, the 1 mag I'm considering 5 shots, then 2 mags the 10 shots. 10 shots took 7.5 seconds, which means DPS of 1 mag with Frenzy is 41.9 thousand. Then with 2 mags, it drops down to 37.4, so it doesn't fall off that heavy because you don't have to reload. But then if we use Adrenaline Junkie ×3, it'll go to 48.5 and 43.3. So those numbers aren't too bad, but that is with Adrenaline Junkie, which won't be that easy to get. This weapon also holds 17 ammo, so no matter which left perk you're using, it's going to take 2 reloads to shoot off the entire reserves. And total damage output will be between 475,000 all the way up to 550,000, so a little bit better than the Shepherd's Watch, but still not anything too crazy. So overall, snipers aren't in the best spot in the game right now, and with Fireline being the way it is right now, it definitely isn't helping at all. Back in the day, it was by far the best perk for snipers and made them pretty good, but with it being nerfed down to only 20% extra precision damage for all weapons in the game, it just simply is not worth your time, and it's not even the best perk on snipers anymore. So I definitely need to look into the damage of Fireline. It should be doing more than Vorpal at least. And the same conversation could be said for Explosive Light on rockets. There's no reason these perks should be doing less than 15%. It just makes no sense. With these 2 snipers, you could pair them with Anarchy, which will bump up their DPS and total damage output numbers by a little bit. But with Anarchy getting the hit it did this season, I'm just not sure that combo is worth your time. I think there's just overall way better options. And obviously this season, fusion rifles are by far the best. But even next season, once fusions are back to normal, slug shotguns are still going to be the kings of specials. So overall, snipers definitely need some help. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for the video. Once again, Fireline is not bugged, but it definitely is a worthless perk. So it definitely needs to be buffed in the future. And snipers in general just need to be looked at as a whole. Anyways, rest video will just be some strike gameplay with the long walk with Clown and Frenzy on it. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.